You're listening to the Dave Sweetmore Show, and my guests tonight are a band who have certainly not strolled onto the Manchester music scene. They've come at it with a massive wrecking ball. They've got a huge following already. They've just released the first single a few weeks ago, and it's an absolute pleasure to be with the lads today. Afternoon, people. Jack, Dylan, Finlay and Mason. How's it going, lads?
Yeah, good. How are you?
Yeah, good. All good. It's really good to see. Obviously, it's been weird not having gigs and stuff. We've come over to the studio today. We're all socially distanced and that, but it's just good to see you, be with people. You know what I mean? Let's go back though. Finlay, lead singer, frontman of the band, guitarist of the band. How did you four come to meet?
So I was doing things on my own, just little acoustic gigs and what have you. And then I got hold of Dylan and really wanted to be in a band. I thought I'd get hold of Dylan and seen him on Instagram and that. And he was pretty local, both from Failsworth. Dylan got hold of Mason from school, and then I met Jack in February of 2019, but we didn't really speak. And then Dylan somehow, how did you meet him then?
I was drumming for someone else.
He played
guitar for,
and then he was playing guitar for Dave, and I thought it was just mutual connections, really.
Yeah. Me and Jack sort of moved from that band to this band.
It kind of like because at the start it was like we were going to do it, and then we did it for a while.
It was
kind
of 6 months.
Yeah, we knew each other. We didn't say anything, and it just ended up coming together.
Well, the four of you obviously got together, you know, as a band. You've become afternoon people. You know, everyone's got to know you in a short space of time, and I dare say a lot of that is through what you've done with MMTV and your manager Anton, which we'll talk about shortly. But Mason, coming together as a band from different directions. What about your musical inspirations? Did you find you were all into the same thing?
No.
Or were you very much into different?
Very different, weren't we? I'd say me and Finlay kind of had the same, like the Jam, the Smiths, bit like that. But Jack, you was proper into different, weren't you?
No, we all meet up on some avenues. We all are into similar stuff, but like the main stuff, like I'm into like what I usually listen to is a lot different to what they listen to.
Which is what would you say you're into,
like,
Jack?
I'm into like a lot of harder rock and things like Dylan is as well, but I'm into all sorts which I can relate to them as well.
Jack, do you think that, you know, the fact that you're not all into the same bands helps when you're coming to put music together?
Yeah, because it's just like, it's inspiration from 4 different ways, isn't it? So it'll always just come in the middle and meet.
Dylan, you lads have always been knocking about on the scene and stuff. I've known you for quite a while now through MMTV, the Manchester Music Channel and stuff like that. You know, how important was it that you learnt your craft somewhere like that, where you were meeting all these bands, these older bands and stuff like
that? It was just, I was just, the music industry is not what you know, it's who you know in it, do you know what I mean? It's like, you got to network with everyone, that's all it is, it's networking and stuff. And like, well, I'm a session musician, so networking's important. And when I met these, like, it all came together, do you know what I mean? Like when we're in the studio and like Jack brings us on together, it just happens straight away. It's not like any other band I've been in where you just have to go through it all the time, or someone can't get a part or something. For us, we'll get into the studio, Jack will play it to us once, and the next thing you know, we've got the tune there, and then within 10 minutes, and it's just a feeling as soon as we do that as well. It just comes together. So like, it's meeting the right musicians, because you'll know when you meet them.
I think one of the things you just said there is the fact that, you know, the stuff you do, it's not like being in another band. You lads aren't like any other band. The fact that you've got this huge following already, which I'm going to talk about. But before we do that, one of the things, Finlay, I want to mention to you is, obviously I've seen you knocking about in studios for quite a while now. You've got Anton Pell, who's, you know, a well-respected promoter and band manager from the area. You know, how did you end up getting involved with Anton and, you know, getting him to manage the band?
Well, we've done the gig for him in lockdown. It was like a live stream gig. Obviously you was hosting it, so just after it, he just said, obviously he must have seen something in us and wanted to do work with us and stuff like that.
How important is it having somebody who has got the reputation and the experience Anton has behind you?
I just think because we're a young band, obviously he's a lot older and a lot more experienced, like you said, so it can only help us, can't it?
Definitely. Now, obviously, last year, it was, you know, you've been together, 18 months or whatever. It was a weird year. We were in the middle of a pandemic, you know, not many gigs took place and stuff like that. You lads really kept at the forefront of being active on social media. You played at MMTV and stuff like that. One of the things I want to mention, Dylan, I'll bring this up with you, is pretty much the only festival that took place last year in Greater Manchester was the MM Fest at the World Irish Heritage Centre. Now, I was there hosting that and DJing it, as you know.
man.
And even though I'd seen you lads before and you'd blown me away with great music and stuff, the following yous have got already blew all the other bands out the water. No disrespect to any other bands, of course.
It's dulled, innit?
How have you ended up getting this massive following so soon?
I don't know, we're just ourselves. That's all it is, and I think people appreciate that. Like, we're not trying to be anyone else. Do you know what I mean? We are who we are. We're lads from Manchester, and we're trying to put ourselves on the map. Do you know what I mean? We're doing what we love, and we can show that. We're not trying to be anyone else.
Yeah,
you know
it's
what
the
I mean?
social media as well helps, because we're always active.
Finley's good with it as well.
Working
He knows what he's
away
doing
with
when
the
it comes to
social media.
You know, you were just saying there then, know what it makes, and obviously about the social media and stuff. I've interviewed a lot of bands during lockdown, and some have kind of like disappeared. You forgot about them.
Yeah.
Yous have kept really, really active with it. Was that important to you because you like social media, or I mean, it's worked, hasn't it? Everyone knows about Afternoon People now.
I think it's just nowadays that's where you get across, innit? The music on all the platforms where you get your music on. And I think social media help as well, and I think it's about like seeing what they're up to in it.
Yeah.
Apart from just seeing the gig and hearing the music, it's like what you're doing with the band in it, and you like doing the social media, don't you, Finley?
Yeah, obviously, once you start on one, you go on to the other and you build the other. So now, I think, because we've got music out, we can start building on more of the streaming platforms, and it's not step aside from the social media, still have it there in the background, but push that streaming platform, do you know what I mean? So when you say to people, oh, follow us on Instagram, don't say it, follow us on Spotify, follow us on Apple Music, because that's where the music is, do you know what I mean?
Speaking of music, Jack, I'll come to you. Obviously, in 18 months, which is, you know, a relatively short amount of time, during a pandemic as well, you've got this amazing following. It's so exciting to see what's going to happen with you lads. You brought out your new single, Sovereign, a few weeks ago at the beginning of the month. Tell us about that single. Where did it come from, and why did you choose that particular single to be, you know, your debut?
Well, Sovereign's quite an old one, but I wrote that one about 2-3 years ago. And then I showed Finley at the start of the band, it wasn't quite finished. I just had the main guitar parts and stuff in the chorus. And then we worked on it for about a year, and then we decided to start recording these tunes and getting some music out there. And it was just, we thought it was the best one it was just a big bang to come in with for the first tune. And
It makes a statement, doesn't it? It's a great song,
for the rest, what's coming next.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Definitely. So obviously, you know what I mean, like I say, saw you play live on MMTV and at MM Fest and stuff like that. Dylan, what gigs, obviously, we're hoping in the next few months. June is the date that's been given. Gigs are going to start again. What's your plan for playing live? Because there's a lot of people excited to see you out and about.
We've got things under our belt at the moment, haven't we? We're just trying to. Well, obviously, we've got a good few months yet until.
Are you trying to keep this quiet? Have you got something
No,
going
it's
on
not
there?
even. It's just well, we're supporting the albums on tour, aren't we? We're supposed to be anyway, but the date's been pushed back, haven't we?
Right.
But that's a one thing, but we've got other gigs planned as well. Like big. It's just we're trying to focus on the music, like Finley said. Trying to be pushing the music at the moment, because we're using the time that we've got at the moment, like in the situation that we are, and then when the gigs come around, that's when everyone's going to start hearing
The excitement that is about for you lads is absolutely massive, and we can't wait to see what happens next. Obviously, if you're listening to this, make sure you follow the lads on all the socials, and obviously the music streams to get the music and stuff. Finley, coming back to you though, obviously you've got this brilliant new single out now, Sovereign, that certainly makes a statement. What's the plans have you got plans for more releases, plans of an album?
Well, we're in the studio at the minute, just ticking off a few more little tweaks that we on the tunes, and then we've got a good three other strong singles coming out, which we'll go into.
Keeping it all very quiet.
I'll let the music speak for that.
I like it because at the end of the day, everyone that's listening to this, you need to make sure you're following Afternoon People on social media to find out what's going on, because, you know, there's a high expectation and a lot of, you know, excitement about what's going to happen with Afternoon People. So, you know, Mason, coming back to you, what do you see? You know, I said at the beginning of this interview, you've come into the Northwest music scene like a wrecking ball. You've got a great manager behind you, brilliant single out. What's the plans for the future? Where do you want Afternoon People to go?
Well, I think anyone in any band obviously wants to get to the top, don't you? But I don't think we want to follow any other band. We want to be our own.
I love that.
We don't want to be known as like a Manchester band like Oasis and this and that. We want to be Afternoon People, not just following other bands because we're Manchester.
We'll always highlight that from everyone.
Yeah, everyone knows we're from Manchester, but I think you got to. We've got to be quite trying to be diverse, don't we?
Global, mate.
Diverse.
Like one of these weird bands. No disrespect to them, like being all like weird and in your face. We just want to be ourselves and let the music speak for us.
Yeah.
I love that, and do you know what? And I genuinely mean this. The fact that you lads have done what you've done during a pandemic, and you've got this amazing following, a brilliant single out and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? It's just dead exciting to see what's going to happen when things are back to normal and there's gigs and you know, stuff like that taking place. And honestly, really, really right behind you. Can't wait to see what happens. So listen, lads, Jack, Dylan, Finlay and Mason, thank you so much for taking the time out today to join us. Like, I can't repeat how excited I am to see what happens with Afternoon People. But take it easy, lads. We'll see you soon, yeah?
Nice one, cheers.
The brilliant Afternoon People, and like I say, do make sure you follow the lads on all the social media sites and of course the music streaming sites as well, because the future is looking absolutely brilliant. And this is the brand new single. It's available now on all music channels, the latest offering and the brilliant debut single from Afternoon People. This is Sovereign.